Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys your Divine Masculine weekly reading. So this is going to be for those of you that are in a separation or a challenge right now with your Divine Masculine. And I do the reading from the Divine Feminine's perspective, so just keep that in mind. Obviously, just take what resonates for you and get rid of anything that doesn't. I do say he or him for masculine and she or her for feminine. It's just the way that I channel, so just apply it to fit your exact situation, you guys. So all the decks I'll be using here today will be listed down below, as well as this beautiful Organite, which is called Divine Lovers Organite by Michelle from Wing and Bell. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're just going to see what we need to know this week in regards to what is the Divine Masculine releasing, so as in surrendering or surrendering to this week. So it could be either or. So what is the Divine Masculine surrendering or surrendering to this week for ascension purposes? What's happening on the journey for the Divine Masculine? Let's look at this energy. What is the masculine surrendering or surrendering to, Spirit? We have surrendering worry. So the masculine is surrendering worry in his life. It says the masculine is making a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, he is trying to breathe them out of his body. He's instead trying to focus on his power of the heart and to have faith that Spirit is guiding him always. So this masculine may have had a lot of stress for whatever reason in his life due to circumstances or events, etc., but is now instead wanting to surrender those worries and those anxieties, because that obviously, doesn't feel good when we have nothing but stress in our lives. So let's just see what else this masculine is surrendering or surrendering to this week. Okay, so we have bully energy. So there's a light and shadow aspect. So we're going to start off with the shadow, which is what masculine is trying to release at this time. So this can be an archetype of someone around the masculine or something within the masculine himself. But it does say conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Okay, so this masculine, this could be coming up for a variety of reasons, is either trying to release some sort of old energy. This could even be from childhood, or just somebody in his life that tends to be verbally abusive or trying to control what he is doing. But this could, of course, be the masculine as well. So what is he instead trying to surrender to? He's trying to surrender to, it says, highlights your tendency to intimidate others. It says, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Okay, so this could be more of this inner bully, right? Really trying not to be so intimidated by facing things or telling people no or putting them in their place, or just basically disassociating from people that do try to push their agendas on you or manipulate you in certain ways. So I almost feel like this masculine has probably been in an environment that hasn't been the best. Maybe he's put up with it for quite some time, and he is now wanting to release the energy. And I feel like he's wanted to release this energy probably for a while, but he might really be focusing on it this week, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get some tarot cards here. What are some tarot cards that represent what this masculine is trying to release this week and what he is instead trying to replace? Okay, so we do have the Lovers, but it's in the reverse position. So obviously just take that if it resonates, but there could be either an ex or a current partner. There could be a third party situation for some of you, and this person it could be kind of like this bully in this masculine's life. And it doesn't mean that this person is getting the masculine to do something that they don't want to do, because obviously we are in control of our own actions and our own behavior. So we're not necessarily blaming people this week for the masculine's hardships, but there could be someone in the masculine's life that's quite difficult. He feels that it's hard to walk away from this person. It's hard to set healthy boundaries with this person. This person could be in their environment. This could be a parent, a friend. It could even be a child for some of them. But it is somebody, obviously, where there was at one time, or there is, a heart connection here. But it looks like it's strained with the Lover's reverse. Okay, Gemini energy is coming through as well with the Lover's card. But this to me it shows me here that two people are not on the same page. There's somebody that wants something that the other person doesn't want. They're having a hard time communicating. There's a lot of miscommunication here, and there's a lot of fighting and drama. So I feel like that's probably why this masculine is trying to make more of a commitment to himself, to let go of whatever this just crappy situation is that either he's currently living in or currently dealing with at this present time. So that's a positive, I feel, for this masculine, especially if he seems stuck. He is trying to release. Now, if this is your connection, Divine Feminine, that could be another aspect here. If there is no other person, it could be that this masculine, the way that he has been dealing with things, because maybe he hasn't maybe known how to respond, or he's just got a lot of things going on, issues, doesn't know how to communicate properly. It could have come off as very harsh, maybe even abusive for some of you. And this could be the masculine's way of pulling back this week, or kind of feeling like maybe it's just best that we do take a break. That could be it as well. So a couple of different messages coming through with that. What else? Okay, so we do have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups can indicate third party. Yes, it can. This could also mean that someone is or has been using either people or things outside of themselves, such as substances and things like that, to cope. So this could be someone that is struggling with addiction or a codependent situation, or just toxic behaviors in general. And this masculine is trying to release that this week, especially. And this could be these bullying thoughts, which are, you're never going to be happy, you don't deserve to be happy, etc. So it could just be the masculine's own mind trying to work against him this week. And he is trying to release the control that this thing, this darkness, this shadow or toxic situation has over his life. So I feel like he's definitely trying to break free of something this week. That's for sure. I love that. We have the Sun's energy. And this tells me here, this is ruled by Leo, by the way. Yes, the Sun's energy. It is divine masculine energy. It's very powerful. It's very positive. It's very optimistic. Things start to turn around when we are focused on more of those positive things, such as can-do attitude. We have the confidence and the strength to basically say no to those bullies, whether it's our own thoughts or someone outside of us. So I feel like because this is coming through in the upright position, this is actually working in the masculine's favor this week, as he is becoming stronger. He is finding his voice. He has the confidence this week to say no to something, to say, no, I don't want to do this any longer. No, I'm not happy. No, this isn't right for me. And I do feel like it's outside of the feminine. I don't feel like this has to do with the feminine so much as it has to do with something in his environment. Okay, but it may be the way that he has been handling himself in the connection with the feminine, as in this is a substance or this is a behavior that he engages in that, of course, hurts the connection between him and the feminine. That can be it as well. But I feel like for the majority of you that there is some outside party, whether it's a person or a thing or behavior, that seems to have had a lot of influence in a negative way over this masculine, and he is breaking through to the light this week. And you can see the hands are ups, and we see all these stars here, and the sun technically is a star. And so that star is like leading us towards what is best for us, leading us in the direction of something positive on that horizon, that kind of like we can do it type of vibe and energy. So masculine is surrendering. I feel like he's willing to surrender a lot of these behaviors or things in his life that are keeping him down, and is instead shifting into this more confident side of himself to break free from these restrictions. That's amazing, you guys. So really trying to be in more of a tranquil state is what I'm seeing for this masculine. So we're going to go ahead and focus now on you, feminine. What are you surrendering or surrendering to this week? Let's look at that energy. What is the feminine? Feminine's watching this reading, surrendering or surrendering to. Spirit, what do you want us to know? Okay, so we have surrender your fear of intimacy. Interesting. So there's a lot of reasons why this might come through. It does say here, you are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. So this doesn't necessarily mean, feminines, that you're afraid, to connect with people, but it could be that there is some sort of sadness or wound that is causing you from being able to open up and trust, especially if that trust has been broken or your heart's been broken. Maybe there's now this fear. So this week it could be that you're really examining why you have these fears and the steps that you want to start taking in order to release these fears and to heal the heart, so that way you can open your heart once again. So I think that's really beautiful. So let's just see what else. It says you are ready to let love in. This is also about, acts of kindness to yourself as well. That lets love in too. It's like treating ourselves the way we want other people to treat us too is always a good exercise. Ooh, we have mother's energy. So I really feel immediately, before I'm even going to read the shadow and light, this is about nurturing. I always see the mother as the empress. It's the divine feminine. It's the mothering, nurturing aspect. So it's about learning to nurture ourselves. That's beautiful. Take care of ourselves. But it does say here, smothering or abandoning children. Okay. So this would be, of course, the negative aspect of mothering, the toxic mother. The narcissistic mother, the mother that sees her child as an object or sees her child as an extension of them. And it's all about what the child can do in order to, fulfill the mother's needs, not the other way around. So this is like a negative aspect of love. It does say here, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Definitely narcissistic mother. Now, that's not saying, feminine, that you have these issues. Maybe some of you guys actually had a mother, just take it if it resonates, that does have these traits. So this could have really had an effect on you. And so maybe this week you are going to be taking a deeper look as to maybe some of the wounds that you have, the core wounds, etc. And this could also be that you are looking at the masculine, if this resonates, and they might have somebody around them. That could be all that toxic vibe that we just saw. And you're taking into consideration that healing does take time. And also it means that people have to be aware of their stuff and aware of their wounds before they can even start to change. So it's kind of like, maybe it doesn't mean, it's okay that this person is acting this way, or their style of intimacy is dismissive or, toxic or really mean and cruel. It doesn't mean we're okay with it just because we understand that it started from somewhere. But education and knowledge is power. And when you understand things, you can kind of see things from a higher perspective, and you don't feel so victimized. You don't feel, you don't take it so personally. I feel like that's what the message is here. But just take whatever resonates for you. Now, if this is the feminine, it could be that this is her style. Her style is, like her style of attachment is to, cling. And if somebody shows the sign of wanting to kind of do something else or to take some space, then we cling even more because we're afraid to lose, right? So there could be that kind of fear here that's being triggered or has been triggered within this dynamic with this masculine. And so we are being asked to kind of parent ourselves, reparent ourselves, etc. So the light aspect is nurturance, exactly, patience, unconditional love, and joy in giving birth to life. I love that. So again, this I feel is a message here for the feminine this week, what she's surrendering, which would be any kind of feelings where we feel like we need to control people or we need to control situations. And if that is triggering you with me saying that, then that might not be your situation. If you are on a journey and you have been working on yourself and you're healing and you love yourself and all those things are wonderful, when I say something like that, if it really pisses you off or triggers you, then it just means that that's not for for you. There could be other people in the collective that need to hear that message, okay? So we just kind of step aside and we make room for those messages to get to the people that need them. But yes, I just feel like that could just be for some feminines out there, but for others, maybe not. Maybe we would love to nurture this masculine. Maybe we would love to, come together and build a life with this masculine. And there could be that we have to just accept where this masculine is at right now, which might be he's still working out his stuff and he's still, got his own things and his own lessons to learn, etc. So this is just about literally stepping aside with unconditional loving understanding that everybody learns and heals in their own way, right? But of course, we still owe it to ourselves to show up for ourselves as well. So we're not putting our lives on hold or waiting for other people either. We're still showing up and we're still, it says, joy in giving birth to life. So we're still birthing new projects. We're still doing things in life. We're building new relationships. We're experiencing joy and happiness. So that's an act of, self-love. So I love that. So whatever message spoke to you, just take what did and leave what didn't. But this is just the energy of what we are surrendering to this week. It's a positive thing all the way around, I'm seeing here. All right, so let's go ahead and get some tarot cards for the feminine with what we are surrendering to this week. Okay, so we have the Hermit's energy, and that is connected to the sign of Virgo. It is in the reverse position, and so what this could be is like isolating. Some of us could feel like we want to isolate and lick our wounds, which is absolutely fine. But at some point, for some of you who ever need to hear this, it can become a negative. You can start to isolate yourself because you are afraid to connect with others. You're afraid of getting hurt. So now it's actually working against you, right? So we can take our temperature and see where things are not working and where things are working, right? And I feel like maybe some feminines this week are going to take their temperature and say, hey, you know what? This is where I can start showing up more here, or this is where I can open myself up and not be so isolated or afraid. So I really love that. We're really sitting in our energy. We're taking the temperature and we're saying, you know what? I'm not going to be so fearful. I'm not going to be so afraid. I'm going to open up myself and I'm going to give some things some chances this week. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Because I've got the tools in order to nurture myself if I need to. And I love that. So we're stepping into life this week. Some of us may have been afraid to even open ourselves up to friendships or just new experiences or try our hand at something new. And so it's kind of like the mother is parenting the child within. The child might be afraid, but the child must learn. The child must go out there and have experiences. The child might fall, right? The child might fall and skin his knee, and then the mother will be there to soothe the wound. And so it's kind of like something is happening within the feminine this week to where she's not so afraid because she knows that she can pick herself up if something does happen. So I love that. That's beautiful. This is great. The Hierophant's energy is Taurus energy, right? That new moon in Taurus that just came up. Some of you guys could have really had a lot of things revealed to you. A lot of you may have just decided to plant some new seeds. That's beautiful. For some reason, I say certain words over and over again in readings, and today it's going to be beautiful. But this right here says teach. That's so cool. So obviously this person is sitting there and they have this book open and they've got this dog and they've got their peers and they're teaching something, right? They're teaching by maybe perhaps leading by example. And I really like that because this tells me, feminines, that you're stepping into your power this week. You're taking back your power. You're also applying what you've learned. You're applying some sort of wisdom here. You're perhaps acting with more integrity when it comes to the things that you value. You might be pulling yourself out of situations where you're not being valued or where you don't share the same values with other people. So you're kind of like realigning yourself this week to things that speak to you, that move you, that inspire you, instead of maybe things that are not, really helping you, which could be being afraid to live, being afraid to open yourself up, being afraid to put yourself out there. Some of you guys could even feel like your personal, like your mission, your spiritual purpose, your spiritual path, your life purpose, all of that. You could be really feeling like you're ready. You're ready to put yourself out there. You're ready to put your products out there. You're ready to put that course out there. You're ready to start your social media channel if that's something you feel guided to do. You're ready to do something this week. And I feel like you're no longer going to allow fear to stop you and to keep you held back. You know that if you do put yourself out there and it's not exactly what you thought, or it doesn't go exactly as planned, that you're going to be okay, because the mother has the tools in order to nurture herself and to be okay. And that's pretty cool. All right, this is awesome. This right here, 5 of Wands, you're pulling yourself out of those challenging times. So the 5 of Wands, if it was upright, I would say there's a lot of drama around you, etc. I feel like your drama days, or your, just kind of intense feelings of just being either angry or rageful or whatever, or just people around you that are kind of like always coming at you with something, trying to trigger you or to bait you. We're kind of releasing that, and we're making some changes and we're letting it go. So I love that we have 2 5s here, because that to me tells me here that through challenging times, we've actually learned a lot about ourselves, and this is awesome. This person's also holding up a shield. So that does tell me here we've learned how to put up better boundaries. We've learned what we value, and just kind of knowing what you value and knowing what you're worth. You don't even necessarily need to tell anybody anything. It's just your energy says it all. Your energy says, don't mess with me, or I'm not going to go for that bullshit. You know what I mean? So energy speaks a volume sometimes. Sometimes we don't even need to tell people. Our actions will do the talking. And some of you guys, by just stepping away from a situation, or maybe by saying it once and then you just, you stick to it, that is enough to teach people how to treat you. That is enough to show people this is the way it's going to be, right? So all those things that just came through these messages, just take what resonated for you. But we are kind of coming out of a challenging time. We're coming out of challenges with other people, and also within ourselves. And instead, we're ready to kind of do some sort of work. We're ready to learn more. We're ready to put ourselves out there. We're ready to live a fearless, more authentic life. And I feel like it's going to be much more joyous all the way around. That is awesome. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and see what energy is connecting the masculine and the feminine this week. Okay. What is the energy that connects the 2 of you this week? So we're going to see what zodiac sign wants to come through with the influence that is affecting the 2 of you, connecting the 2 of you this week. We have Sagittarius energy. So Sagittarius, it says this energy imbues power, superior confidence, and enthusiasm with faith, good fortune, and authority. I really like that, because this is, to me, is connected to like the sun's energy. Even though Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius is a masculine sign. Okay, it doesn't like, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a double Sag actually. That doesn't mean like I'm masculine, but I could have some traits that are very dominant, which I do. And so I always attribute this to my Sagittarian sign. But this to me is, we are taking back our power. We're standing in our power. We already know for the masculine that he already has that sun energy with him, right? The light energy, saying no to things that don't serve, whatever that might be. So that takes great strength and confidence and power to put up our shields and say no more. So both of you are basically connected in this light, this powerful masculine vibe this week. It's very, very strong. And it's like, it could even be feminine by you holding up some sort of a shield, laying a boundary, no longer willing to kind of participate in unsatisfactory situations. This could also, in a way, be showing the masculine that this is the way that it's going to be. This is the way. right? This is the way towards the light. We're not going to get stuck in toxicity anymore. We're not going to play around anymore. We're going to get serious. And I'm not going to put up with this and I'm not going to put up with that. There could be some sort of situation or conversation that's taken place that has kind of set the tone for the connection. Whereas we can actually only go up from here. We're no longer going to be participating in toxic cycles or toxic behaviors, things that disempower us. We're not going to do that anymore. We've been either doing this too long or we've been going back and forth for too long and it hasn't changed anything. So it does take the power and the strength of someone in the connection to say, you know what? We need to turn this around. And the only way to turn it around is to either be honest, which can be hard, or to engage in acts that might be difficult, such as, we need to disengage with things that are draining us of our power, other connections, relationships, or addictions, behavioral patterns, etc., things that cause challenges, things that are going to cause this connection to not be able to work properly. We're letting that go. We're willing to start to kind of recognize that we can't really move forward if we're not willing to take a personal accountability and to fix what's going on our side of the street. So I really like this for the connective energy because to me, it's straight up. It's in your face. It's, you know what, like it or not, this is the way it's going to be. And it's very powerful. And Sagittarius is ruled in the tarot as temperance. Temperance is all about taking time to heal. So these two cups can eventually reconcile and come back together. So I feel like that's where this connection is at right now. If you guys are on a hold or like a holding pattern or maybe even a separation, I feel like this could be a very positive thing that's occurring because it gives both parties the opportunity to do whatever they need to do to clean up their side of the street so they can move forward in a positive, more empowering way. So it's also connected to the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter's energy. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about turning a new wheel. We're turning a new wheel in a situation. We're turning over a new leaf, a new phase, a new cycle, which is positive. So I love that message. All right, let's see what tarot card wants to come up with the Sagittarius energy. Oh, hold on. I didn't want to use this deck reverse, so I'm going to just keep it upright. I just need to turn it around. All right. 9 of Flames. All right. A lot of fiery energy here. Fire energy with the flames. Sagittarius is a fire sign. So I feel like this week you guys are very much connected in the fire element. And that fire energy is kind of like what's keeping you motivated, what's keeping you pumped, what's keeping you like moving forward and inspired to take action. So the 9 of Flames, you can see he's been through a lot. He looks like a wounded warrior, doesn't he? He's got all of these wands set up and he's standing at the opening and saying, nope, not going to get in. So I feel with this being the 9, it's on the brink of the 10 of Wands. And the 10 of Wands is a card that indicates exhaustion, giving up, saying, I can't do something anymore. I've just got to let it go. So I feel like you guys are on this brink separately to this cycle of cycling something out for good. And I feel like it has something to do with your environment or behaviors that are not serving either one of you personally or one of you, and then of course it doesn't serve the connection. So I feel like this is coming to a close. This cycle is coming to a close. There's maybe like one final lesson, right? One final lesson. I don't know, the final countdown, that song. I don't know. It might not have anything to do with what I'm thinking right now. And I don't know who sings it. The final countdown. Da-da-da. It's like really, just kind of I think it's like an 80s song maybe. Anyways, if anybody knows what that song is, drop it in the comments down below, please. But yeah, that's what I'm getting here is that it's a very empowered energy this week. It's about hanging in there. Just keep hanging in there because we're almost through this cycle. We're almost done with this cycle. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what planet is connecting the two of you this week. We obviously have Sagittarius with Jupiter vibes. Let's see what else. We have Vesta. Okay, so this Vesta energy. It says the goddess within your sacred spiritual center and quiet dignity. Okay. So I actually don't know a lot about Vesta, so I want to take a look at it because that I feel has something to tell us here. Planet, Vesta planet. Okay, Vesta is one of the largest objects in the asteroid belt. So it's not necessarily a planet, but for some reason I did have it in the planetary cards here. All right, so let's just see what it has to do with here. So Vesta planet meaning, let's look at this. Okay. So it is goddess of home and hearth. So home, I like that. That's exactly what that means. It's all about our home. It says the little light inside you that makes you special, your home, your center. Okay, I'm loving that. I'm glad that I looked that up because I wouldn't have gotten that from that description. But of course, it does say the goddess within. So it's something where we feel centered within ourselves. And this is like where we maybe nurture ourselves or where we feel whole. So this is also connecting the two of you this week. We did get the mother energy and archetype for feminine. So I feel like how we nurture ourselves and care for ourselves this week is really crucial. And we have the Seven of Crystals. So the Seven of Crystals is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is a card of investment. I feel like what's happening this week and where you guys are connected is that you realize that you need to make more of an investment in yourselves. When we can truly make an investment in ourselves, then that means that we know how to make an investment in a connection with another person, right? We can't really love other people unless we love ourselves, right? We might think we can. We might give all of our love to someone else, but then of course we don't have anything left over for us. So sometimes we learn these lessons, and throughout our connection with someone, we're going to learn more and more about who we are, what we want, what's important to us, and what's worth investing in. So I just feel like because this Vesta energy is our energy, it's within us. This to me tells me that the Seven of Pentacles is a little bit of a holdup in the connection. There needs to be more investment in the self. And again, if that's triggering, if you're already doing that work or whatever, and that doesn't jive with you, then that might not be your message. But I just feel like that's what we're being asked to do. Maybe the masculine needs to do a little bit more of that if you feminine have been doing that all along. Maybe it's just this masculine that needs to go within and just really, really invest more in the self and really figure out what is important to him. Because until you know what's important to you, or until you kind of like know yourself and know your values and what's important to you, like you're not going to really be able to show up for that. So I feel like there is this holding pattern because the Seven of Pentacles is also a card of things being a little bit on hold and kind of having an opportunity to sit back and reassess everything. So when we sit down, and you can see here in the card, like, you know, this guy, he's sitting there on the blanket and he's looking at these seven like crystals, and he's looking at them and he's figuring things out. It looks like he's deep in thought to me. It looks like he's really thinking about what he wants in the future, what's important to him, what steps he wants to take next, what kind of a life he wants to build, what he wants to invest in, etc. So there is this little bit of this holding pattern where people are trying to figure out what's important. How do we go about the next step? Because the next card would, of course, be the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is we know what we're working on and we're starting to work hard on that particular goal. So again, this is another card for me where we're on the verge of doing the work. We're on the verge of completion of a cycle, letting go of things that don't serve ourselves or this connection. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and see the house. What house in astrology is connecting the two of you right now? We have the sixth house, okay? So that sixth house, it says the work, health, and duty area of your life. Okay, so I want to go ahead and look a little bit deeper into into the houses here. So this particular house, the sixth house, is the house of health, and it actually is connected to the sign of Virgo. We actually just saw Virgo come through with that reversed Hermit for the feminine, remember? So I think that this is great. Again, this is about the house of health, the house of how we're caring for ourselves. Big emphasis on self-care this week. And so I feel like both masculine and feminine are participating in more of these behaviors of the self. And I think that's awesome. And we have the Five of Orbs, which is the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords is conflict with other people, defeating situations, defeating behaviors, right? Where we let the ego kind of drive the show and win, or we let other people dictate to us how we're going to feel, how we're going to be, what we're going to experience in this life. We hand our power over to other people. So I'm just getting here this week, you guys. This is a huge week when it comes to taking back our power. You know, masculine I see is doing it, and I also see the feminine is doing it. That's why you guys are both connected in this energy. It's really about self-care. It really is about no longer participating in defeating behaviors, whatever that is, things that sabotage you, things that just absolutely ruin your mental health. So we're pulling out of our need to stay attached to unhealthy things, unhealthy choices. And you can see here, she's doing yoga. So to me, this is like somebody who's either getting back in shape or they are nurturing their bodies. They're taking care of them. You know, really nurturing mother energy, nurturing of the selves this week. And then you can see all the stars around. And to me, this is like we're actually lining up with what is destined for us at that point. You know, we're accepting where we're at. We're okay with where we're at. She's also reaching for the stars. And so to me, this is also a leveling up of our energy and not accepting things that really just aren't what we want. You know, we're aiming higher. We're raising our standards. We're raising our vibration. We're more optimistic. We see things. And I kind of like this because this reminds me of this card here for the masculine. There's a reaching for the stars. You see that? It's a totally different deck. But we're reaching for the stars this week. And when we reach for the stars and we expect more for ourselves and we keep reaching higher and we're continuing to open up our minds and expand, right? Jupiter's energy, then this just means that we're not going to sit around and stagnate, right? When we sit around and we stagnate, we don't nourish ourselves, we don't feed our minds, and we're not open to new things, we stagnate. So I feel like masculine and feminine are no longer going to be in that defeating energy. They're both going to feed themselves this week. They're both going to nourish themselves. And again, when we nourish the selves, we end up being able to nourish one another. So if one or both of you haven't been participating in that, this will actually aid your connection at a later date. So that's awesome. Okay. So awesome and beautiful are my words today. So now we're going to go ahead and see what is the unfinished business here. Okay. What is the unfinished business in your connection at this time? This, of course, can change week to week, but what is the unfinished business at this time that's highlighted in your connection this week? So this could be wounds. This could be, you know, past pain, etc. Things that we're just kind of working on, contemplating, healing. Whoa. So what is the unfinished business this week in your connection together? Oh, I love this. We have good vibrations. So to me, this is awesome because it says positive vibes, upliftment, and resonance. Look at all the stars in the sky. There's something about stars in the sky, and we're reaching for the stars. Again, another hand reaching into the sky towards the stars. So what's unfinished between the two of you is I feel like maybe your connection has not been in a good vibration for so long. That's just for some of you, that it actually has lowered your vibration the way that you're connecting to it. Maybe some of you guys are not able to work with this connection or this energy and learn from it. Instead, you're allowing it to control you, or you're giving all of your power to it. Again, you know, just if that's your situation or message, take it. If not, it's not for you. But that's just what I feel. The vibration of this connection, or the vibration that's been around both people, has maybe lowered. It hasn't felt good for a little bit. And so we're tuning into the frequency of a different vibration. And sometimes tuning into a higher frequency might be that we pull away, we take a break, we kind of, you know, do other things that are empowering. And so the unfinished business, I just feel, is that you guys have not been able to really be in a good vibration together but this is something where we're learning how to uplift ourselves and create positive experiences for ourselves first, so then we can in turn create that good vibration together. And then of course we have the Beach Boys songs, good vibrations. That's coming through too. Okay, what else? Okay, processing energies. Okay, look at this. An adjustment period, settling of energies. And that's just what I'm getting here. This vibration obviously is an energy. And as you guys are processing these energies, you're either going to process it in a positive way, an uplifting way, an inspiring, empowered way, or you're going to allow the energy to basically take you over, take you down, keep you stuck, keep you codependent, keep you addicted, whatever. So it's going to be up to us to change the vibe, to change the frequency in this connection. And I just feel like both of you guys are, hit and miss. You guys are both working with the energies. You don't quite know what to do with it. So what's unfinished between the two of you is to actually be in an amazing vibration with each other. So this is something that maybe you've yet to experience together, or yet to experience it in a long-term way, right? There always seems to be like when you maybe come back together, there's like that period where everything's great and then it crashes again. We don't know how to actually process what we're going through, because not everything is going to be able to just be hunky-dory the whole time, right? And so when there is a problem or an issue or we're triggered, instead of separating and ghosting and flipping out, we come together and we talk about it. So if you're not able to be in that energy with someone and have a successful connection with them long term, that is because there's a lot of things that we still are needing to process within ourselves. We're still bringing too much junk and unresolved trauma and wounds to the table. I can speak from personal experience, and it's not even in a romantic connection, but it's just like something that I tried over and over and over again and just can't get the frequency right. So it's just one of those things, unfortunately, where I've yet to experience that with that person, maybe in another life. I'm not sure if it's going to happen in this one, but all I know is that two people have a lot of issues that they keep bringing to the table, so it's never going to work. So to me, that's an example of you've yet to experience that with your divine masculine, this continued period of good vibration where you guys are strong enough to actually carry on a long-term situation. So that is what's unfinished between the two of you guys. You may be able to do it in this life. It might be the next life, but that is still what is just unfinished between the two of you. You guys actually have this ability to come together and experience amazing things together. So it's just working out all the junk in the meantime. And hands that heal, healing ability, magic touch, hands on. So I kind of like this because what this is telling us, you guys, is that obviously hands that heal, this is about healing energy, knowing that we need to heal. Sometimes you have to be hands on with people in order to heal. And we do know that the feminine might have fear of intimacy. She might fear ever having anything to do with other people, or she might have allowed things to cause her to feel fearful of everything now. Like she's so scared that she doesn't want to trust anyone or open up her heart up with anybody because she's afraid she's going to get hurt. But what Spirit is saying here is that we need to experience actually hands-on healing with other people. It might even be that our hands-on situations with this masculine, as in we're coming together with the masculine, even if it doesn't work out, each time you come together, you're going to process something. You're going to process this energy. And by no means am I suggesting that you guys continue to go back and forth forever with this person. At some point, you are going to have to put up a boundary. And I can, like I said, I was speaking of personal experience. I have finally put up my boundary and I'm pretty firm where I'm at and what I want moving forward. And so you do not have to keep participating with things that you just feel are not really going to serve in a positive way. So you don't have to continue to do this hands-on stuff with this masculine. But every single time I feel that you guys open up this experience or open up this connection, more and more is going to get processed. And what might be processed, I'm just putting it out there. It might be processed that, you know what, continuing to do this actually isn't helping me. It's just hindering me. That might be what needs to be realized. Sometimes you do have to go back. I know I did. You have to go back to realize, you know what, nothing's really changed. This isn't going to work still. Okay, well, at least now I know. I'll stop thinking about it. I'll stop remaining in this fantasy, potential-based thinking. Oh, it's so great and it was so wonderful in the beginning. Why can't we just recapture it? Sorry, it's just not possible. So sometimes that's what we need to process. Sometimes you do need to go back into a situation to realize that maybe nothing has changed or that it's still not going to work. And sometimes it might be, hey, you know what? Maybe we needed a break because now it will work. Everybody is going through something different. So let's go ahead and get some tarot cards on these messages here. So unfinished business, I feel if you are in separation with this masculine, the unfinished business is that there will be an opportunity for you guys to come back together again to heal something else. I don't feel like this is a forever separation is my point here. Six of Crystals. Yeah, I definitely feel Six of Pentacles. There's going to be an exchange of energy at some point with this masculine in this lifetime again. That's what I'm getting here. I feel like this is not the end. Does that guarantee that you guys will come together and live happily ever after? Not necessarily, but I feel like you guys will at least be able to exchange energies in some way, whether that be with a phone call, a text, or seeing each other. So it is unfinished business, and it tells me that you guys are being drawn together once again to do some sort of healing. We do have the King of Crystals. It might be when this masculine feels like he has maybe more to offer. This is Taurus energy. Might feel like maybe he's more established in the world. He feels more confident and better about himself. That might be when he reappears in your life or wants to come forward. Okay. And the Nine of Crystals is awesome. I feel like this is feminine. Nine of Crystals, Nine of Pentacles is someone who basically knows their worth. They know their value. They're just doing their own thing. They're focusing on building their own garden. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, hey, do you want help with that? There you go. There's the match. So it's two people being on a very similar frequency and one is finally ready. I feel like maybe the feminine feels like she's ready right now, and maybe she is, and maybe some feel like you're ready, but maybe there's still some things you got to do. Totally fine. And I feel like this masculine is on his way to becoming the King of Pentacles, but it's a journey for him. And so I feel like eventually you and this masculine are supposed to meet once again in the physical world and exchange energies and maybe go get to another level in your connection or do something differently this next time. But I normally don't say this, but I definitely feel that if you're resonating with this reading, that you and your masculine are going to see each other again in this lifetime, and you guys are going to exchange energies and try to do something and work this connection out again. I do see this with these three cards. Just saying. So that's unfinished business. You got unfinished business to do. There's still something you guys got to learn, exchange, do together. It's just a matter of time. Okay? So now we're going to take a look at this last message, which is how might your paths cross again? So what are some of the details on this reconnection? Okay. What are some of the details for the reconnection? Palm, destiny, it's destined. I mean, that's what I'm getting, right? It's like it's destined that your paths are going to cross again with this masculine. It's only a matter of time, or healing, I should say. It's only a matter of time and healing and vibration, right? So let's go ahead and get some details here on that. Palm energy. It's in the stars. It's destined. Wow, Four of Wands, damn. Some people see that as an 11-11 card. You can see it here, 11-11. Four of Wands is a card of commitment. It's a card of building something together, building a foundation. And I just feel that it is destined. And so when I say that, okay, there are no guarantees in life. Everybody has free will. Anything can happen. But what I'm seeing at this point is that your paths are destined to cross again. So that way you guys can build something together. You guys are meant to build something together. But, that doesn't mean that you can't build your own life in the meantime or have your own experiences in the meantime, okay? The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, that's also another card of fate and destiny for me. And it's also about a new cycle. So it's divine timing. When the timing is right, the two of you will come back together. This is Sagittarius energy, by the way. And remember, Sagittarius is an energy that connects you and your masculine. This could be foretelling that maybe November or December of this year, this could be when this connection comes back together. Okay, it doesn't have to be that way for everybody, but that's what I'm seeing. Paths are destined to cross again, so you guys can recover what you guys lost, okay? Recycle obviously means that we are not getting rid of, but we are turning it into, this is transmutation, we're turning it into something new, something of more value here, or we're just repurposing the energy. So I really like to see that. Hello again. Hi, see, I'm coming back. Hello, this is not over. And here he is, the King of Swords. He's back and he has something to communicate. He has something to say. The King of Swords is very direct, Aquarius energy. The King of Swords comes with truth and understanding and wisdom of all the things that he has learned, and he is wanting to share something with you. This guy is holding a clipboard, right? And he's here to share some sort of information with you. So that is what I'm seeing here in your future, is that there is some sort of destined energy where there's going to be a new turn of events. There's going to be a turning of the wheel in this connection, and you guys are going to have an opportunity to recover what you guys lost. And we have the Page of Cups, which is the message. It's also Pisces energy. So what I'm seeing here is that there is a message of love. There is a message of, this is how I truly feel. This is what I want. I want to try this again. I've learned a lot. I've let go of an old situation. I have discovered what my part was in this whole thing. I've discovered what I needed to do in order to heal, and I'm back and I want to try this again. So I am seeing this for you guys, that this is not over, that there is still something here to recover if you're resonating with this reading. And it is possible. Yes, it is possible. It's in this 3D world, in this 3D time, in this lifetime. So I feel like that is absolutely a message there with that globe. It's Earth. It's not just some 5D energy. It's not just a dream. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that in this life, in this 3D life, that you and this masculine will come back together and try to build something together. Now, the High Priestess, I feel, is probably a message for the feminine. It means go within. Okay? This might not be evidently clear to you, but a lot of you could be receiving visions, or just you have this inner knowingness that this is the case. Continue to trust that. Continue to trust your inner voice. And this is just a suggestion. If you know where you're at on your journey, okay, and let's just say you're like, you know what? I'm going to watch a pick-a-card reading, right? I'm going to watch a pick-a-card reading. And the subject of that pick-a-card reading is, are you and this person going to come back together, right? And you watch it and it's like, nope, it's not going to happen. We're not trusting our intuition when we're looking for answers outside of ourselves to confirm things. That means that you're just not trusting your inner guidance. You're not trusting your intuition. So it's not about being in a fantasy world and lying to ourselves. Obviously, if you feel very confused and you're all over the place, you might need clarity. But I just feel for the viewer that if you guys just have that calmness and that inner knowingness, and it's very peaceful, and that just brings you peace and clarity, and you feel good, you feel calm, you don't feel anxious, you don't feel like you've got to jump through hoops and do things and try to control situation, that's your intuition speaking to you and comforting you and letting you know that you actually know more than you think you do. You know more than a frickin' pick-a-card reading. You don't necessarily need to go outside of yourself for these answers. And I do tell people this a lot. regular clients that might, come to me for a reading, too close to one another. There's too much. I feel like that they're relying on the cards and the messages that come through my readings rather than their own intuition. I will put a stop to that and just say, hey, you know what? It might be time for you just to kind of pull back and to trust your intuition, because it's good for us. It's good for us to trust our own intuition instead of constantly giving that power over to other people. So I think that that's really, really a positive exercise, and something for the feminine to practice is more of that, just, trusting herself. I think that that's okay to trust yourself. I think that you can give yourself permission to trust yourself, especially if you feel calm and you just know, trust that, right? Yes, feminine, Queen of Cups. I love it. Cancer's energy. You just know, man. You just know. That's why I feel like that's how I had to tell you that, is because that is what that is. Queen of Cups just knows. She's so psychic. She's so intuitive. She's so empathic. She feels everything. And of course, sometimes that can be to her own detriment. She feels too much. She feels scattered. She feels emotional. She feels moody. She's not sure if her intuition is her intuition or is it her emotions. Look, guys, the more that you nourish yourself and focus on you and you show up for you, the more that you're going to get, the more that you're just going to know, the more that you're going to trust yourself, right? The less time that you spend scattering your energy or putting your eggs and investment into other people's baskets and instead making a deposit in your own basket and bank, the more that you're going to stabilize your energy and the more that you're going to empower yourselves. And the more that you're actually going to open up possibilities of actually experiencing happiness and getting the things that you want in this life. So it's about becoming your own powerhouse and letting everything reflect that. I love that last message. It's beautiful and awesome. So anyways, you guys, that's what I have for you this week. I really hope that you enjoyed these messages. And this week I have some things lined up just to kind of go a little bit deeper into the soul contracts and just like a bunch of different stuff. So stay tuned for that. But tomorrow I'll be putting over on my Treasure Trove Tarot channel a general reading that doesn't really have anything to do with the soul connection. Tomorrow I like to do a weekly forecast if you guys are interested. So definitely head on over there tomorrow, or just make sure you guys are subscribed over there so you guys don't miss anything. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. You guys take care. Bye-bye.